Welcome back, and as I said last time, Mr. Schnellwelder has been busy. World's fastest bumper car update. Yes, Mr. Schnellwelder has been busy. We have engine cradles to play with. Oh, I know, what a bloody mess. The entrails, the electrical entrails. Time to test the new engine frame on the motor itself, and thankfully it managed to slide it over the top, just perfect dimensions to do that. So what I'm thinking is to use this rear mount. I think we've discussed this already. Get a nice steel rod, which I have on order, which will go all the way along and through the side there. Yeah, so that's taking care of the back, and I think at perfect kind of height. At the front, I'm not so sure. Bearing in mind this is how much will be dangling below the frame. It might be a little bit low, so we might need to pick it up a bit. I was thinking of using a mount that came down from that top engine mount down to here, but something else cropped up. Yes, this. So that's actually the other side rear mount, or the first prototype at least, and that would kind of work right off the bottom mount, which would be less stress on it because it's only a short distance as opposed to a longer distance to the top mount. I rather like that, and we're going to use the top mount for the gear shift or the pedal. Yes, remember this to here. Yeah, so yeah, I think that could work quite nicely, which is good because that means no more waiting around for engine mounts to be fabricated. And the good news is we already have a pair of them, slightly modified, admittedly, but all marked up and ready to go. Let's do it. And there it is, in place. Yeah, so I mean, obviously it could bolt in here, but ideally it would reach out to here, so we just need to extend that edge, and then it's a job done, I think. And the other good news is that the exhaust system will potentially clear the new engine cradle, so we're all good there. Yes, it's all apart again. We're flipping it upside down, and for good reason. Yes, I haven't flipped it yet. I was going to fit these. Except it turns out the actual bearing is kind of at an angle for some reason. And worse than that, our battery shelf tray mount thing is right where we need to drill. But I don't think that's a problem. I think we can just move that around a bit. It's getting this offset that I'm more worried about, to be honest. Getting it right. Now what's he up to? Well, I've completed fitting the gear shifter mechanism, which I think is going to work. So yes, it's mounted there on the engine mount, like I said it would. And then it's got this brace, which is actually an alternator brace off a Ford. Yeah, anyway, I think that works. Nice. There they are, in situ. Yeah. What do you mean they're on the wrong side? Oh yeah, I know. They're going to go underneath. And I think we've got these the wrong way around. I'm thinking, despite lack of input from my various karting friends and everyone else, I think we want the toe in. We want the tapering to go towards the front, not the back, as we currently have it. Yes, typically 50-50 chance, and I got it wrong again. As the natural forces are going to want to push these wheels out this way, and therefore we want them tapered in at the front, I think. Yes, folks, it's actually sitting on its wheels. I haven't actually drilled and fitted those rear axle mounts, but it is sat on them. And the reason for that is relevant to this situation. Yes. And bearing in mind the wonkiness of the wheels, what I want to do is find out what ground clearance we've got. So we have 3.5 from the bottom of the actual C-frame, and we have just over 6 from the bottom of the frame itself, which is the all important bit, because that will determine how low we can drop that motor into that cradle, including the exhaust system, of course. And talking of this, I need to experiment with my rear engine mount situation. Yes, so I put it up on a block of wood, so it's just sitting a little bit proud. We have a long steel bar. Oh, I know, it looks a bit flimsy, doesn't it? Well, that's what we're going to test. This thing is amazingly light, actually. I can lift it up with one hand. These are 12mm bolts. This is a 10mm rod, because it has to go through, because we don't want it threading there. Now we just need to lower it and see if it actually will sit on that without bending it. Obviously it's a little long. Well, it is officially resting on the frame now, and that means it's resting on this rod here on the cradle. It's bending a little bit, I agree. Well, so what? I think that's actually going to work. Precarious, I know, but I just needed to get that other mount off so I can get the cradle off and off to Mr. Schnellwelder to weld into the frame itself, the chassis rails, yes. Meantime, just in case I didn't explain it, so I had this like that, and I said make right. What I meant by make right was move it over here, and therefore it will sit nicely on there, yeah, off the same mount. So the rear mounts are going to work on the front, and we've got our bar for the back, so we're all set on engine mounting. We're swapping out front mounts for rear mounts. So what was the rear now becomes the front. And that will sit on our engine cradle beautifully. At least that's the general idea. Yeah, this is the general idea. Well, obviously not that long. Yes, snug fit aluminum tubing to support our somewhat thin steel rod. Meanwhile, the engine cradle and chassis rails are back with Mr. Schnellwelder, handyman. Next time around, we'll be refitting, we'll be dropping that motor back into that engine cradle with the new mounts, and really making some serious progress. So do tune in again. That'll mean you need to subscribe down here somewhere if you haven't already. So as always, thanks for watching. If you thought it was any good, give it the thumbs up, and yes, encourage others to watch my lunacy.